What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to another episode of Fantasy Bench Warmers. Today, we take a look at the schedule. My name is JJP, and we commission week 14 schedule. Let's take a look at that, and it's going very interesting. Maybe we start off with the number of games per teams. There will be some really bad schedule for some teams. Chicago, Detroit, one game each.
Well, they're gonna face each other. The reason because of this is they're gonna face each other in Paris, in France, for the NBA Europe games. So I guess they were lucky to be chosen. But for us, or if you own Levine, if you own
Vucevic,
DeRozan, if you own these guys,
well,
you're just unlucky.
DeRozan's injured, so that's also good for DeRozan. So if
Well,
you're DeRozan,
he's questionable for tomorrow already. So he might play already tomorrow, then have one game. That might be good for his recovery. Also, Isaiah Stewart, I've talked about Isaiah Stewart. I think he's also questionable. I think he's going to play tomorrow already, but then he'll get this one game week 14. They'll play on Friday, Manila time, Friday. So that's Thursday in the US. That means they have a 3-day break, and then I think a 3-day break also after. So that is smack in the middle, which is even worse. That's even worse because if it's just early on, you can just hold on to like some of the Bulls and Pistons players that are borderline, like Bay, Diallo, Burks, Caruso. Maybe you can hold on to them until that game and then drop them after. But now it's right smack in the middle. So I don't know what you would do with that.
there will also be a couple of teams with just 2 games. Orlando and San Antonio, 2 games. My goodness, if you own players like Trey Jones, Keldon Johnson, who else? Jakob Pertl, Fultz, Wendell Carter, those guys. Definitely Banquero, big blow there
what if you had you have a lineup of DeRozan, Banquero? I mean, I don't know. Like those are 4 teams. You can realistically have like 6 or 7 players from those 4 teams.
Yeah.
You're I don't know what you would do with your week, but
that's why as I was looking at the schedule, I'm thinking which teams do I have, these players from these teams. I have a team with Jakob, and I think I have Isaiah Stewart in the same team. So that's a big blow already. I also have Detroit, Killian Hayes in that team. Those 3 players already.
If you have Isaiah Stewart and DeRozan, you should pray, that they don't play tomorrow. And that's for me because at least they'll still be in the IL Plus. That would give you a roster spot available to stream.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if they play tomorrow, you have to remove them from the IL Plus, the double whammy, and then you have to wait for 3 days of no games. That would be tough. Actually, Orlando and San Antonio, just to mention something here, they're both 2 games, but Orlando has the worst schedule than San Antonio because Orlando has even a longer break than Chicago and Detroit. They have a 4-day break to start the week. So that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Manila time. 4 days off. Then they get a back-to-back. And then they don't play the last week. Then that's it.
Imagine,
so that's 4 days.
Imagine one of the guys there sits out one back-to-back.
Like Fultz. Well,
they haven't done it yet though. But Wendell Carter could sit out the back-to-back, right?
Yeah, maybe.
We're speculating. But in San Antonio, they're not on a back-to-back, so that's okay.
No. And in San Antonio, at least they have their first game is on the second day of the week, and then the second game is like after a 2-day break. So it's not a long breaks. No, with Orlando, a guy like Ball, we talked about him, I think yesterday or the other night in our season long. What do you do? For me, it's no brainer right now. You drop him already. You drop all your balls because 4 days, that's just too long. That's just too long to hold somebody that will give you zeros. And when he plays those back to backs, you don't even know if he'll perform. Maybe he won't. Maybe gives you 5 points, 2 blocks. That's not gonna fly already in week 14. So
Um,
four teams, four teams. This is something. This is the first time so far we've been doing this for 14 weeks,
so
and this is the first
if you have
time this
players,
happened.
if you have players from these teams, you have to take a deep breath and hope.
Pray.
Strategize. I think you strategize well enough. Like you can, strategize the categories that you want to target, like what Komish did in one of the weeks where he was severely depleted, right? And hope that you lose 4-5 and not just go to 7-1-8, right? That's
Three
going to be
six. Maybe go 3-6. Try to go 3-6. Actually,
worst. The worst is 3-6, right? The
yeah.
worst is 3-6.
This
Um,
week, actually, I have a team like that. I have an 18 team league. I have that team. First day, I have one game. My opponent had 9 games. Sorry. I was down big already. Then I was looking at the schedule. I was down like 10 or 11 games. I was right. The first game, my only player there was Langford. He shot like 60% field goal, 100% free throw, and then no turnovers. So if I don't play my rest of my players for the rest of the week, that's day one. That's day one. So there's still a long, long ways. I would have been 3-6. I would have been 3-6. So I did not do that. I went through it. I went through with the week. I played my players because it was its day one. And I was like ninth or eighth there. So I'm thinking that's not the way to do it because I'm not really on top. I'm fighting for playoff position. So you
yeah.
have to you have to you have to discuss. You look at where you're at and decide what to do.
There will be a team with 5 games. So if you have,
That makes
and
it
that's
worse.
that's Toronto.
That's
If you have Siakam, if you have Van Fleet, Scotty Barnes, and who else is the guy? OG. Those four
that
guys.
makes it worse. Doesn't that add insult to injury? Like if you own the one game team and you're against Siakam,
Yeah.
a team with Siakam or Barnes, it's just
I mean,
like
there are two ways to see it. It could be worse for you if you are against a team with these players, but it can also benefit you if in case you have a combination of players from both Toronto and some of the Detroit,
if you
right,
do, yeah, yeah.
in
If you
Chicago. So that's also possible. I mean, not Siakam and DeRozan, for example. Maybe DeRozan and OG, Van Fleet, and maybe one of the Chicago guys. I don't know.
Here's the
Levine.
deal, though. I don't think you would expect Toronto to play all their players for 5 games. No, like if it's up to Nick Nurse, he would do that. But I think the medical staff and especially Van Vliet, I don't think he's gonna play all 5 games. I don't think. I'm not sure about Siakam, but Van Vliet for sure. I highly doubt he plays all 5 games. The problem with Toronto, there's just really nobody to stream in Toronto.
Yeah, none.
Um, okay, if you're in a 16 team, 18 team league, Precious Achua, you better add him now. No, I think he's the guy that best, the best stream for next week. Just by sheer volume, he can get you at 30 rebounds next week. He can get you maybe 5, 6 steals. Maybe that amount of blocks. So yeah, Achua is probably the guy I would look at from Toronto.
All right. So looking at the breakdown of the games, um, there are two quality game days, unlike this
Yeah.
week where there was none. Wednesday Manila time and Friday Manila time, as always. Friday, I think, is mostly
Mm-hmm.
quality game day. We start off the week with 9 games, so that's good. And then Wednesday 4 games, Thursday 9, Friday 5, and then spread out evenly 9, 7, 7 for the rest of the week. So
Very similar
uh,
to this week. Very similar
yeah,
to this
very
week.
similar, except for the Wednesday. There are
Yeah.
a couple less games. Right?
Couple.
I
Yeah.
think there was 6 last week, Wednesday. All right, back to backs. It's Golden State, Houston, Lakers, and New York from week 13 to 14. And then there's a transition week from 13 to 14. And then the start of the week, we have Tuesday, Wednesday, there's Milwaukee. Tuesday to Wednesday, Milwaukee and Toronto. Denver, Clippers from Wednesday to Thursday. Thursday, Friday, there's only one team, Minnesota. Friday, Saturday, Brooklyn, Golden State. Saturday, Sunday, Atlanta, Cleveland, Indiana, Orlando, and then Sunday to Monday, Phoenix and Toronto. And then the transition week from week 13 to week 14, Memphis and Portland. So we just run through it, show that to you on screen. You can just take note of it for your, streaming plan. Worst schedule, like we said, Chicago, Detroit have the worst schedule. I think we can put Orlando and San Antonio as teams with the two,
Yeah.
also with the worst schedule. Milwaukee also has a bad schedule. They start the week with a back to back, and then they have a 3-day break. Yeah, so those players you
So
see probably should be dropped by the time.
yeah, so just to recap these bad teams, no, Pat Connaughton, Javon Carter, Alex Caruso, these are the guys that you might be thinking about. Ball. For Diallo has been hot, but sorry, but I can't hold on to him. Josh Richardson, maybe Mo Wagner. These guys are all drops for me. Just how it is.
Alec
Killian, of course,
Burks. Alec Burks.
Killian, of course, you don't drop, but it's gonna be tough. But you have to hold. You have to hold. You have to be
Ah,
strong.
do you drop Alec Burks?
Yeah, I drop Alec Briggs.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
I'll drop
think
Alec Briggs. I'll drop Alec Briggs.
yeah, like we said, Ball is another player. For San Antonio, not much there. There
So
are a lot of streamers there.
yeah,
So one has been dropped. Even
in
this
some
week.
leagues.
Yeah, in
Yeah,
some
yeah.
leagues he's already been dropped. Chicago, the not a lot as well there.
More of Caruso. Maybe Caruso. Pat Williams and Caruso will be the the players you will really think hard about. But both of them, for me, I would be okay to move on. Unless you have like four Toronto players there that you can withstand having Pat Williams playing one game or Caruso playing one game.
no,
If
yeah.
not, yeah.
Um, Teams with good schedule. Of course, Toronto is the obvious one with 5 game schedule. The other teams, Brooklyn with 2 quality game days, and they are against San Antonio, Phoenix, Utah, and Golden State. Relatively good matchups for them. So players like we'll talk about the streamers in a bit. Philly and Portland also plays in 2 quality game days, but they only have 3 games this week. So that's going to be something to think about. Denver and the Lakers both have 4 games this week, and they have good matchups as well. Denver will have Portland, Minnesota, Indiana, and OKC, while the Lakers will have Houston, Sacramento, Memphis, and Portland. So those are fast-paced teams with barely any defense, I guess. And then teams with 3 games in the first 4 days of the week, Minnesota, and Gobert got injured today.
Yeah.
So that's the guy. I added Naz Reid already in some leagues, even though he doesn't have a game tomorrow. And, those leagues when I'm losing this week 2-7, I
Move
did the
on.
math and just said, I think I'm not gonna win much. Maybe if I get lucky, I win another category. But I just moved on and added Naz Reid, uh, just to speculate on the Gobert injury. And then 3 teams with 3 games in the last 4 days: Brooklyn, Toronto, Golden State, and Phoenix. So yeah, plan your stream accordingly, guys.
Well, okay. To mention something, Brooklyn. No, we know Toronto is good. Brooklyn is probably the next best team for me, outside of Toronto that has the best schedule. No, the quality days are good. The matchups are even better. Spurs, Jazz, Warriors. That's fast paced matchups. I like that with the Nets. And then you have players to stream. You have TJ Warren. You have Royce. Well, Royce is not there, but Seth Curry, Joe Harris.
Yeah.
So you have some players, some options there. Uh, yeah. If you look at Denver's schedule also, I love Denver. If I like Sacramento this week, if Jokic plays all these 4 games, and there's a semblance of closeness to all these 4 games. Portland, he loves Nurkic matchup. He loves that. Minnesota, without Gobert, Naz Reid, Indiana without Miles Turner in case, and OKC. I mean, how many points will Jokic do this week? It's gonna be very, very, very good for Nikola Jokic.
Yeah.
For week 14.
Yeah. So in case you're looking for players to target, Royce O'Neal, you mentioned Joe Harris and TJ Warren. I think at this point, TJ Warren should be added already. I think
Yeah.
many still see him as a streamer, but while KD is out, I think with a good schedule, I think that helps as well. Just
For the
add
week
him.
at least. For the week at least, yeah.
Yeah. And Joe Harris, I think he starts. So if you need threes and points, um,
Yes.
no other guy better, I guess.
If you have Alec Burks and Harris is available, make that switch.
Yeah.
Or if TJ Warren is available, make that switch. It's very easy. That's just a simple math at this point.
Yeah. Royce O'Neal, of course. Yeah, I know he was dropped in some leagues, but he should have been added as soon as the KD injury happened. Troy Brown for the Lakers, in case, especially if Pat Bev still misses time. They have, like we said, the Lakers have a good schedule. Bruce Brown for Denver. Solid, whether starting or off the bench, I think. And Bones Highland as well. Benedict Maturin, in case, the Indiana situation there, I think Maturin also benefits with that Halliburton injury and Isaiah Jackson, of course. Why not? Right? 2 games. I was still able to add a couple. Isaiah Jackson this morning.
Yeah.
So, I mean, or last
He
night, I think. Last night.
he should be I mean I can add Duarte here. They Indiana right now, you can add those 6 or 7 mostly used players already. I think without Miles and Halliburton, they're just gonna get a lot of usage. So Isaiah, you have to add him. Maturin, you have to add him. And then a while ago, you mentioned Bruce Brown. I think he was dropped in some leagues. I saw some
Yeah.
Bruce Brown. If you have Pat Williams, if you have Caruso, switch with Bruce Brown. That's easy. That's easy to do. So that's how you do it. Those borderline players, add borderline players with good schedule. Troy Brown, the schedule is really good. The schedule is really good. I keep on going back to him because I think the minutes will be there. The matchup will be good this week. Again, 4 games or good 4 good games of Troy Brown will be better than 1 good game of Caruso. So even if Caruso is the better fantasy player, you have to make that move. Even Ball Ball, 1 game of Ball Ball, 4 games of Troy Brown. Easy call also.
Yeah. Yeah, Caruso, I've seen in a lot of leagues dropped already, 14 teams. Just to give
Yeah.
you an idea, if someone would pick them up, no one's picking him up in a 14 team league. So, yeah. Gabe Vincent for Miami.
Vincent.
No timeline for Lowry and Hero, so we don't know when they're coming back. Vincent was good before he got injured. He got better the past couple of games, so yeah, add him up. Other streamers: Dwayne Washington, Chris Boucher, Precious Achua, 5 games. Boucher and Achua, 5 games, and Georges Niang for the Philadelphia 76ers. All right, that's it for this week's schedule. Hope this helped you guys prepare for week 14. We're closing in on that playoff. Our playoff starts at week 20. Well, not really as close, but every little bit of win, every little bit of category matters at this point. Whether it's going to be a loss of 4-5 and 6-3 becomes a big difference already at this point, especially if you're trying to make the playoffs. All right, that's it. Follow us YouTube, Facebook, and our socials, and we'll see you guys again tomorrow for our regular daily fantasy. Bye, guys.